Alright, what's up? Hey, we're doing a quick video of a tier list for the March of the Machine team up commanders. I saw a meme on Reddit where someone ranked all of the commanders in terms of, lore and how much they liked them and how competitively good they were, so I'm going to do the same thing. If you don't know me, my name's Kevin. I'm making all kinds of Magic the Gathering content. Check out my podcast, Poor Man's Lore. If you like this, you might like that. Alright, let's do it. So first up, we got Elenda and Azor. I, I don't know. It's giving me some solid B tier vibes. Flying Ward 2/6/6 on a 6 cost. It's decent. It's a Sphinx, right? When it attacks, you get to do like a Sphinx's insight. You make some Elenda tokens. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a solid B tier. It's not standing out to me for like lore or anything. I'm mid on it, but I might change my mind later. B tier. Next up, we have what was it? Moira and Teshar. So I'll be completely honest. When I saw this card for the first time, had no recollection of who Moira was. It is a card from the commander decks from Dominaria United, and I mean Teshar, but they are Phyrexian, so unfortunately it doesn't matter what they do. They will be sitting in the D tier for this list, which brings us to the next one, Rashmi and Ragavan. A specific gripe I kind of have with this is why are some planes, I don't even feel like they're the popular planes necessarily, getting like 3 legends where some planes got none. Like some popular planes got 0 team ups. So the fact that like Kaladesh got at least 2 that I'm seeing right off the bat, maybe 3. No, I think Kaladesh got 2, and Innistrad, which I mean I get it, it's Innistrad, that one's popular, but Innistrad got like 3. I feel like they should have done like 1 per plane. I guess technically Kaladesh gets 3 because, well, I mean, you might be able to see it, but we'll discuss that one in a minute. But anyway, Rashmi and Ragavan, look, who doesn't like Monkey, Who doesn't like Ragavan? Who doesn't like big, expensive Monkey? It does big, expensive Monkey things for maybe a little less money. In terms of, like, the actual value of the card, I don't think this will be very expensive. So, maybe, I'm still feeling like pretty middle of the road. I'm actually feeling like this is a B tier, but if this is a B tier, this is a C tier. Yeah, I feel pretty decent about that. I feel like the effect on Rashmi isn't that crazy. Like, it's just kind of Value Town, which, blue-green Value Town. It doesn't quite sell me. Next. Saint Traft and Rem Carolus. Okay, so I am 100% biased, both for and against for this one. So pro, it is from the Convoke deck, which is my favorite of the commander decks. So I think, a really cool theme. I love when Wizards does this thing where they give us new themes in a new color. I genuinely think that's a really cool thing to do. So like, Convoke, normally you'd think green-white, and in this case we're adding blue and red to the mix and taking out green. I saw a lot of people on the internet were upset about that, but I think innovative and, good design. This one, I kind of wish, because in the Convoke deck, right, there were the 2 different commanders. It was this and Kozla. I really like Kozla because it's like a Lightning Angel or a Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider being like one of my favorite cards of all time because it just is. I kind of wish one of them gave spells that didn't have Convoke. I feel like that would have been stronger here, but in terms of the team up, I do like the character team up here. I think it is a pretty decent, like a solid card. Like you cast a bunch of spells with Convoke. I feel like the value is totally there. So I am going to put this in the A tier. I think I'm on the fence between A and B. I'm going to put it in B for now because Con, the one thing it does have counting against it, and Innistrad got like 3 goddamn team up cards. Unnecessary. Give us other planes. Like Ravnica got Ravnica. All right, Ravnica got one. All right, I gotta chill. All right, I gotta chill. Ravnica did get a cool one, which we will discuss at some point. But next up, it is Shalai and Halar. which I love the name, just the it does something nice. It's like on Banshees of Inisherin, where the guy's like, "Oh yeah, why'd you name it that?" I like the double shush. It reminds me of that. Like, I like the name, and that does get it big points for me. I saw someone on Reddit point out, like, hey, I get like Shalai is an angel, but like, how the fuck is Halar just up there? How does that work? I don't know. It amuses me. It's decently solid commander too, right? Like, it's a good +1/+1 commander, but like in an innovative way. So I'm inclined to put it, it's like between A and B, but I don't have anything super negative, so I think that is going to be my first A tier commander. Which brings us to the next one, which technically is not a new team-up card or a team-up card at all, but it is kind of a team-up card. And it is from the March of the Machine commander. The way I looked at this is I went on Scryfall and I looked at all the March of the Machine, commander legendary creatures in the main set and the commander set, and I found this one. I was like, technically that is a team-up card. I like a mono-colored team-up card. It's a classic in a way. It's like this and Anax and Symede and like Tyro and Kineos of Miletus. I like it, but it is a bit old. It gets the honorable mention in the B tier. Moving on to one that is like definitely super cool. I mean, it's SA immediately for this one, right? Like, just like look at it. You know what I didn't realize until today when I was like looking to make this video is the lightning. It forms a dragon. How neat is that, right? So, the team up. Lore wise, I don't think there's much there, but like, who doesn't love Kamigawa? The fact that we're back on Kamigawa is still amazing. It isn't completely blowing me away, but the gameplay is so cool with it. This is tough. I'm gonna put this A tier. I reserve the right to change my mind. It's such a good design though, and it's a 3-drop, and oh man, it is good. Here's the thing. I know there's one coming that's gonna get S tier. I know in my heart there's like one or two that I just see them and I'm like, yes, S tier immediately. So I'm gonna put this in A tier, but it is like a very strong A tier. Maybe can I do that? Oh yeah, okay, I can do that. So I'm gonna rearrange that. Yeah, that's how I feel. This is the better, that's like, it's close, okay? So next one, it's a cool idea. I don't know how well that idea was executed on though. Like, human flashback is not a theme that works. I think it probably doesn't do anything. I don't like, if you want to cast a lot of creature spells, but also you got a lot of instants and sorceries in Bant, but like, maybe that is the cool thing. Like, if I'm gonna put one from Innistrad in the A tier, I do feel like maybe it's this one. And you know what? Now that we've rearranged this, I am going to put that in the A tier. And then I'm going to put this in the B tier, but right here, I think. Yeah. Because, like, it's a neat idea. It's a novel idea. But I don't know how well it was, like, executed on, if we're being honest. And now that I'm seeing this one's going to go here. Okay, yeah, next. I think it's a decent idea for a card. Hey, if you can make human flashback work, you win an award immediately. We got the next one. The one thing I do like about these three, now these are the, like, I think they're like pre-release. You get one of these in your pre-release kit, but you can't use it in the pre-release. It's just like a fun promo. I do like that they're all like 3-drops that are like, I love a 3-colored 3-drop. That is, it just makes me happy. Like I said, I love Mantis Rider. I love this. I really love this card. Honestly, I was thinking probably SA, but I have such a soft spot for the Weatherlight crew. I have a Weatherlight deck. And it's like, it's the two comic relief characters. It's so good. It's immediately going in that deck. I love the alt art of it in the other frame. I think I'm going to have to go S tier on this one, right? It's just too good not to. In terms of like what it makes me feel happy. Which this next one does not. Baral and Kari Zev. The best part of this card is that Kari Zev is there and makes a Ragavan, and you can see Ragavan in the background right there. The worst part of this card is Baral, because Baral sucks, and I just kind of imagine he smells like piss, like, all the time. So, I think Baral drags it right down to D tier, just slightly better than a Phyrexian, but, like, we do not like Baral. But, you know, we bring it down for that one, so we can bring it back up for this one, okay? There is no debate. There is no conversation. This is an immediate S tier commander. Let me tell you why. Fibblethip is on it. Borborygmos also happens to be there. But this is a Fibblethip card that we can actually play. I have tried so many different ways to make that Fibblethip legendary creature work. It's already got enough going against it being a monocolored commander deck. It's not a good deck. Thank God I now get to build a 3-color commander deck around Fibblethip. This is the crutch that we needed to make Fibblethip and Commander happen. Other Fibblethip, he's going to be in the deck. He's going to draw me cards when he pops in, right? Borborygmos is the hero that we needed. This card is mid. I will admit that. Especially compared to some of the other 3-colored team-ups in the main set. Pretty mid card. But at the end of the day, Fibblethip. The alt art on this is amazing. Shout out to the artists on that, whose name I can't remember right now. It's like Alexis and Justin Hernandez, I believe. That's definitely right. I've really been enjoying their art. They did the Urza, the Urza Brainstorm that they made like 3 copies of. Thanks for that, Wizards. I would have loved to run that in like every Urza deck, really every deck that I play. But they did the art for that, and I met them at MagicCon Philly, and they were incredibly nice people. They talked to me for like 10-15 minutes. Incredible artists, and for all these reasons, even though this is not their art, the alt art is, but like the best introduction to the Ravnica like frame, straight into S tier, straight into the front. It will not be moving from there. Next up, we got Dejeru and Hazoret. I think this is a sleeper. I do. I think it's a decent card. In terms of mechanics, you can cheat out some pretty big stuff. It's kind of like an Atla Palani build. I love the Amonkhet representation. I feel like I'm packing the top of this list a little too much, but I do like this card, and I think for that reason it's going to go in A tier. I'm thinking here. A solid card, a solid spot. A tier for sure. Next up, we got one. Shout out to Cam if you're watching this. I know you love stacks and powerful women, which this card is. We got Linvala, fan favorite, and I think Drana also probably a fan favorite. You know, it's stacksy, it's versatile. It was one of the first, if not the first, I think the second team-up card that we saw. Great proof of concept. I don't want to keep putting things in A, but I think it goes in A. I think it goes right here. I like it slightly less. Is that the only team-up pair we have from Zendikar? That's crazy, dude. Zendikar used to be such an important and, like, fan-favorite plane, and it gets one team-up card. That's nuts. I feel like Ikoria is the new Zendikar, you know? Anyway, on to New Capenna. I like New Capenna. I like this team-up card. I like what it does mechanically. I don't want to keep putting things in A. I think this has to get down to B. A is getting a little too crowded. And this just doesn't feel like it's in the same vein. Like, if I could put it, like here, an appropriate amount of distance away from the boys, the silly boys, I definitely would. All right, back to the task at hand, though. We got Aaron and Giada. Like, it's good. It makes sense. I like it. The alt art's a little goofy, a little art deco. I like that. It's such a good Angel Tribal commander. That's the issue. But it's probably not better than, like, Giada. Like, classic Giada. I'm going B tier, but a solid B tier. That feels correct. Next up, Ghalta and Mavren. I always want to say Marvin. It's Mavren, though. Mavren's kind of a stinker. Don't love Mavren, but, like, it is a 12/12. We do love a Ghalta. It has a fun effect. I think it does vampire tokens better than Alenda does. I feel like maybe this goes, like, B tier, like here. I feel like that's pretty appropriate, because it's definitely better than Human Flashback. It's definitely better than this, Alenda. But, like, it ain't up here. So yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good place for it. Next up, we got a pretty cool one. Another one from Kamigawa. So Kamigawa got 2. But I feel like Kamigawa gets 2. You know what I mean? It gets a pass on that. This is a cool one. Hidetsugu and Kairi. It just has an energy about it, you know? It's a real middle finger. It has a real confidence to it. I'm going to put it, it's either here or here. I'm leaning here. It's just neat. I just like it. It tells a story. It's staying there. Next up, we got one that the art on this is so sick. Oh my god, that's so sick. It's like Rainbow Road. It's awesome. It's kind of gay. I'm going to put this, I think, in A tier. I think it goes right there. Because I think, in terms of, like, what it does, what the card does, a little tired, right? A little meh. A little played out. But the art is so incredible. I wish that they had done the rainbow on the alt art too. Sometimes I wish you could get the main art in the alt art frame. This does stay here, though. I feel pretty decent about A tier. Next up, we got one that I think is, I mean, it's pretty clearly an S tier. I think it's pretty clearly right here. Pretty clearly right between Fibblethip and Borborygmos and Slimefoot and Squee. It's King Kong and Godzilla, right? It's Kogla and Yadaro. I just love the action of suplexing a monster onto a steel chair with thumbtacks all over it. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant design space. It goes in Ape Tribal. It technically could be an Ape Tribal commander, right? Because what do you want in an Ape Tribal commander? Type line Ape, also red and green. If we hadn't gotten Kibo, I'd be freaking out about this. I do think Kibo is still the de facto Ape Tribal commander, but I do quite like this, and it will be going in immediately to my Kibo deck, my Ape Tribal deck, right? Ape Together Strong. We love apes. The alt art's really good. It's not going above Borborygmos and Fibblethip, that's for sure. It's staying there in a place of honor. Next up, we have Kroxa and Kunoros. I'm a little disappointed because I really wanted Theros to be defended by Kruphix. I love Kruphix as a character. And while we did get 2 other names that start with K, I don't know, I just wish Kruphix was it, you know? Like, I just do. But I guess if the Teamer mashup had to be the silly boys, Borborygmos and Fibblethip, this is a good and decent runner-up for Theros. I love Theros. I'm not putting this in the A tier. I'm putting this in the S tier. I think it goes right here. I do think it's funny that, like, this one, they're also red. Even the next one, like, the color scheme is very red. To go back to this one for a minute, the effect is really cool. I think it's Altar of Dementia that goes, like, basically infinite. You just get your entire library in your graveyard, and you get, like, a bunch of leave the battlefield and enter the battlefield effects, which, like, what's 100 divided by 6? Like, it's a little less than 20. Somewhere between, like, 15 and 20, I want to say. Like, you could probably just, if you got, like, Warstorm Surge or Impact Tremors, like, you could do a good amount of damage just with, like, entering the battlefield, leaving the battlefield. You got, like, Corpse Knight. This is an interesting deck that I might actually build. I really like the alt art. Jason Engel, one of my favorite Magic artists that does, like, the Theros stargazing style. I'm going to put that in the S tier. I really like it. On to the next one. Rankle and Torbran. I really like this one too. I think it's a very strong A because, so I loved playing, I remember playing on Arena when Eldraine was out, and Rankle had just a certain quality that I loved. It was the little animation that came out. It was so taunting. You drop a Rankle, you swing, and you take out a creature. Yeah, you sack one of your own. You draw a card. Yeah, you lose a life. It's the swagger, it's the confidence, but also Torbran, another iconic card. Having them team up and keeping that kind of, like, pick one or more. It's one or more, right? Choose any number. When it deals combat damage to a player or battle, choose any number. That's sick. I also like on these team up cards when they have, like, a slew of keywords and then something else. I almost want to put this in S tier. I think it is S tier, but it's like here. I know the top of this list is crowded, but, like, look, they're not Phyrexian. Let me live. The last set was so devastatingly horrible. Every single creature was Phyrexian. There were 2 humans in the last set. Count them 2, okay? Yes, I got my Mere Tribal guy, but goddamn, that sucked. That set was awful. Next up, we got, I mean, it's a bit of a fan favorite, right? Like, they knew what they were doing with this one. This one was the slam dunk, right? Like, once they made, like, art for this and they put it together, I'm sure they just looked at it. It's the same kind of thing of, like, slew of keywords. In this case, keywords that really do something, right? A Glissa moment, First Strike, Death Touch. We love that. I need to thin this list a little bit. I'm going to pause here and do that. This is probably a strong C tier. This is probably also a strong C tier. Stronger than Human Flashback. This is probably a strong B tier. I think this is probably strong B tier as well. Probably strong B tier. This is going to be an A tier. And I think this is also going to be an A tier. We had to make room in the S. Because what else do you do with this? It goes in S. No, I think it actually is a strong as heck A. I mean, it's Thalia and the Gitrog monster, right? Like, everyone's seen, like, the Thalia guy on Reddit. Can you imagine how good that whole saga is gonna get? Shout out to the funny Reddit Magic subreddit. Next up, we got Yargle and Multani. It's it's very big. It's just funny. I mean, it has to go in A because of the energy. It's definitely before those. I think it goes here. Because I do think this is weirdly cooler than this. Which I wasn't, like, super hyped on this one, Rankle and Torbran, until I started actually doing this list. But it is pretty cool. I newfound appreciation for them. Yeah, that feels correct. Okay. Next up, we got Zimone and Dina. I really like this card, okay? I really like the team up of the Strixhaven kids. Quintorius is, like, one of my favorite characters now. The Quintorius card from this set is bonkers good. I played with it the other night. 2 different games that went just spectacularly in my favor. Same artist, actually, that did this did Quintorius's regular art in this set, and they did a good job. I'm thinking it's probably A. In terms of power level, it's very good. In terms of flavor, it's very good. It isn't as silly as these guys right here, but its goodness is better than Multani and Yargle's silliness, so I'm putting it there, and I feel pretty decent about that. We got two more. We got both from Tarkir. I wish Tarkir had gotten, see, I don't want to say more love, but maybe, like, different love. This card's kind of lame. I feel like if it was, like, Flying Haste and, like, something else, maybe it gets there. But also, like, no one's building Jeskai Dragons. I tried it. It's just not, like, a good deck. It has, like, all of the perks of... It doesn't have really any perks. It's like a dragon deck, but with none of the charm. If you're playing this many colors already, why not just play green, which is objectively probably one of the better colors for dragons anyway, and then also just if you're already playing green in this mix, like, it's just the Ur Dragon, right? Maybe this goes in the Ur Dragon, I guess, but I don't know. I don't love the team up of Zergo and Ojutai. I like Ojutai. I like the Ojutai clan, and I like the... Man, what were those things called? The Jeskai. I liked the Jeskai monks. Those were very cool in original Tarkir. It's mostly my nostalgia for that that's carrying this card in any way, shape, or form. Yes, Ojutai has a cool design. Like, the feathered dragon is cool, but it's just a mid card. It's just, like, so aggressively mid. If they had dropped the mana cost by one, it's way better. Maybe broken at that point, but I don't think so. It feels safe and lame. It is going in B tier. I think it's just barely getting out of B tier. Yeah. Next up, we got the last one, and then I think I'll take another look, but I feel pretty good about my list. We got Surrak and Goreclaw. This is a no-brainer. Slam dunk. These two should be friends. I would love to see a return to Tarkir where, like, this guy rides Goreclaw around. Surrak is a cool character. This is actually in the Jumpstart for this set, but I'm loving that they put that there. You know, it's a classic design, almost a little weaker than a classic design of a 6/6 for 6 with trample. Shout out to Dreadmaw. But other creatures you control have trample, so I feel like that's pretty good. Like, is this our Dreadmaw commander? Maybe. I'm gonna put it... Okay, let's just leapfrog it up, right? It's better than this. It's way better than that. I don't think it clears B tier, but it is cooler than that. Yes, that's correct. That's just correct. All right, well, I mean, that's our list, right? Going back through, we got meh, you know, gut reaction, bad. Honestly, I just wanted to go back through so I could look one more time at the silly boys. There they are. There are silly boys. I've only had this card for a week, but I'd do anything for these silly boys, you know? I love this card. This card's so good. I'm a little surprised that Kroxa made it that far up the list. But yeah, you know what? That's the list. That's the list. I think this is a long enough video anyway. God damn, I talked for a half hour. Speed this up. Watch this in 2 times speed. It's ridiculous. Anyway, go check out my other stuff. I have a podcast called Poor Man's Lore. If you watched this long of this, you'd probably enjoy that. I talk about Magic the Lore in like a casual, off-the-cuff kind of way, and it's, you know, it's not the best Magic Lore podcast. Probably not the second best, but, like, if you like me, you'll like it. I also have a Patreon. If you will feel so inclined as to go check out my Patreon, it's patreon.com/poormanslore. Thank you for watching my dumb little tier list, inspired by a meme I saw on Reddit. All right, bye-bye. Have a good day. Have a good one. Bye.